Hello students, welcome to our polity class series. In this class, we will discuss about the part 15th of Indian Constitution under Article 3072 323. In this section, we will discuss about the service under the union and the state government. Means we will discuss all India services. In these service, we will discuss UPSC and SPSC. All the provisions of the UPSC and SPSC we will discuss. UPSC means Union Public Service Commission, which are responsible for the Union Public Civil Services exams, and States Public Service Commission (SPSC), which are responsible for the state services exams. So, Article Part 15th of Indian Constitution deal with the services, all India services, where there are two types of services. The first services Union Public Service Commission and second services State Public Service Commission, and the article related to this part is 3072 323. In this chapter, in this part, we will discuss chapter 1, which is related to services. Let's start the chapter. What does Article 38 says? Now, in this class, we will have to discuss Article 309, 308, and so on. Basically, it's explain the context required for the services, and state does not include the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So it is explain the interpretation. Article 309 recruitment and condition of service of person serving the union or a state. So it's explain the complete recruitment process of the UPSC and SPSC services. Also, it's explain the basically services of the person which is serving under this. So basically, it's act of the appropriate legislature may regulate the recruitment and condition of the service of the person appointed to public service and post in connection with the affair of union on the state. It provided that it shall be campaigned for the president of such person as he may direct it in the case of service and post in connection with the affairs of the union, and for the government of a state such person as he may direct in the case of the service and post is connected with the affairs of the state. To make rules and regulations and to make requirement, it is necessary to make a person. So Article 309 basically explains the symbol, terms and services. Means the person is directly recruited by the state legislature, and regulate state legislature or parliament will manage the recruitment of the services. Article 3110. What does Article 3110 explain? Article 3110 explain the tenure of the office of the person serving the union or a state. Okay, there are two clauses of Article 310. Article 310 clause 1 says that if there is a government employee in defense or any civil services, he can hold the post during the pleasure of the president or the governor. If there is a person who is working in the state government, then he will hold the post until the pleasure of the governor. If there is a person who is working as the center government, he will hold the post until the pleasure of the president. The except and expresses provided by the constitution, every person who is a member of defensive services or civil service of the union or the state, basically he can hold the post during the pleasure of president if he is working in the center government, and pleasure of the governor if he is working in the state government. So simply Article 310 Article 310 explain the tenure of the person who is serving in union or state, and these article, the clause 1 of Article 3110 explain that if there is a person who is serving as the defense or in the civil services, he can hold till the post the pleasure of the president and the governor. And article the clause 2 of Article 3110 explain or embodied a rule of constitution doctrine pertaining to the tenure of the services. Means the person holding a civil service post under the union or state government office during the pleasure of president, or office if he is in the state, then pleasure of the governor. Any contract under which a person, not being a member of defense service or all India service or civil service in union and state government, and then deemed it necessary in order to secure the service of a person having special qualification is required. Next is Article 311. Article 311 says dismissal, removal, or reduction in rank of a person employed in civil capacity under the union or state. So it's explained that how a person can be dismissed, how a person can be removed. Haji. So Article 311 explains the procedure of the dismiss, removal, or reduction in the rank of the person who is related to the civil services from a state and center. The clause 1 of Article 311 say explain that no person, if there is a person who is a member of civil servant in the union or state, he shall not be removed by any authority which is not responsible for his appointment. Means if a person is appointed by a X authority, then only X authority have right, he can remove the person only. So no other authority which he was not appointed by them cannot be removed any person from the civil servant. So no person who is a member of civil servant in a state and central government shall be dismissed or removed by any authority subordinate to that by which he was appointed only. So he can be removed by those authority which he is appointed. The clause 2nd of Article 311 explain the reduction of the rank, that only those authority which are responsible for the appointment of the person can reduce his rank only after the inquiry. If he found guilty, if it is necessary to reduce his rank, then only he can be, or the rank can be reduced. That it propose after such inquiry to impose upon him any such penalty. Such as penalty may be imposed on the basis of evidence during such inquiry, and it shall not be necessary to give such person any opportunity to making representation on the penalty proposed. Clear? So this is Article 311, which explain the removal and the reduction of the rank of a civil servant. It says that a person can be removed by the authority which he was appointed by, and he cannot be reduced, any authority cannot be reduced his rank without any inquiry. Only these are certain cases where a rank of a person can be removed if he belongs to the civil servant. Where a person is dismissed or removed or reduced in rank on the ground of conduct which has led to his conviction of criminal charges. If there is a criminal charges over a person, then he can be dismissed or removed by the authority. Where the authority empowered to dismiss or remove a person or to reduce him rank if he is satisfied to some reasons to be recorded by the authority in writing, it is not reasonable practicable to hold such inquiries. Where the president or the governor, as the case may be, satisfied that in the interest of the security of the state, it is not expedient to hold such inquiries. In respect of a such person as aforesaid, a question arises where it is reasonable practice to hold such inquiries. It is refers to the clause to the decision theorem of the authority empowered to dismiss or remove such person or to reduce him rank shall be final on the basis of these aspects. Clear? Next, Article 312 is talking about the All India services. In this article, it is explaining about the All India services, means it is talking about the UPSC and SPSC. So it is said that the state legislature, by passing a resolution, can set up a state services or SPSC under a state, and same for the center government by passing a law in parliament can establish a services for the center only. The state government can establish services under a state government by passing a law, and central government can establish a service by passing a law in the center only. Clear? The service is known as the commencement of this constitution as the Indian Administrative Service, and then the Indian Police Service IAS and IPS shall be deemed to be service created by the parliament under this article. So article 312 says that the IPS and IAS services are established by only the parliament. The All India Judicial Service refers to in the clause 1 shall not include any post inferior to that of a district judge as defined in under article 236. The law providing for the creation of All India Judicial Services may contain such provision of the amendment of this chapter as may be necessary for giving effect to the provision of law and shall be amended by the parliament under article 368. So article 368 of Indian Constitution explains the amendment related to the All India Judicial Services. Clear? Article 12A, basically power of parliament to vary or revoke condition of the service of officer of certain services. There is another article 312, which explains that all the rules in force right before the commencement of the constitution will continue. If there is a rules which are basically right before the commencement of the constitution will continue to apply any public services or post even after the constitution was enacted. And article 3112 empowered the parliament to vary or revoke conditions of the services of officers of certain services. Like it can vary or revoke whether prospectively or retrospectively the condition of service as respect remuneration, leave and pension of any officer of All India Services who has been appointed by the Secretary of the State or Secretary of the State in Council to a civil services of the Crown in India before the commencement of the Constitution. So it is talking about the before the Constitution of the Constitution. If a person is appointed as the Indian Civil Services, or if leave or pensions are allowed by the Secretary of State or Secretary of the State of the Council of the or the Crown of the India, will be continue. Under the Government of India, state is any such post may be specified in the law. Whether prospective or retrospective, the condition of service as respect all matters other than those refers to in clause of any such officers as it refers to them, but no such variation or revocation shall be the disadvantage of any such officer except as respect any period after the commencement of the Constitutional Amendment Act 28, 1972. Article 313 deal with the transitional provisions related to the civil servants, and Article 314 was revealed. It was repealed. It deals with the providing for the continuance of the payment of the salaries, evaluation, and other peak of civil servants which are appointed before independent. So it was dealing with the salaries, the pensions, and the allowance which was for the civil servants which was appointed before the independence of India. So Article 314 was repealed by 28th Amendment 1972. As in 28th Amendment 1972, the privy purse was removed or evoked. Clear? Now, the chapter 2nd of part 14 is Public Service Commission. In this chapter, we will have to discuss the Public Service Commission, the Union Public Service Commission, and the State Public Service Commission. So here is article 315 of Indian Constitution. Basically, 315 of Indian Constitution explain that there shall be a Public Service Commission for the Union and there shall be a Public Service Commission for the state only. So Article 315 are talking about the establishment of UPSC and SPSC. There shall be a Public Service Commission for the Union and there shall be a Public Service Commission for the state according to Article 315. The clause 2 of Article 315 says two or more states may agree that there shall be one public service commission for that group of states. Mean if there is a state who have one, they can, according to the constitution, two or more states can agree to appoint a one service commission. And if a resolution to effect is passed by the house, whether there are two houses by each house of the legislature of each of the state, parliament may by law provide for the appointment of a joint state service commissions to serve the need of those states. Means if there are two or more than two states, they want that there should be a single public service commission for these two states, then a resolution must be passed by all the state houses, and then finally parliament will appoint a joint state public service commission for these states. Clear? Public service commission for the union, if requested so to do by the governor of the state, may with the approval of the president agree to serve all or any of the need to of the states. Clear? So it also explained that the service commission, public service commission of union requested to do the governor of a state may with the approval of the president. Clear? Okay. Next is Article 316 explain the appointment and the term of the office of the members. According to the constitution, there shall be a chairman of the Public Service Commission of the state as well as center also. If there is a joint Public Service Commission, then the chairman is appointed by the president. If there is a Central Public Service Commission UPSC, the chairman will appointed by the president also. And for the State Public Service Commission, the president or the chairman is appointed by the governor of that state. So 316 appointment and term of the office of the members. Article 316 says that there should be a chairman of the Public Service Commission. If there is a joint Public Service Commission, then the chairman is appointed by the president. If there is a Union Public Service Commission, then also chairman is appointed by the president. If there is a State Public Service Commission, then the chairman is appointed by the governor of that state. Provided that nearly as maybe one half of the member of Public Service Commission shall be who at date of their respective appointed have held office at least 10 years either under the government of India, under the government of state, in computing said period of 10 years, any period before the commencement of the constitution during which a person has held office under the crown in India, under the government of India and dominion shall be included. A member of Public Service Commission shall hold office for a term of 6 years from the date on which he entered upon his office or until he ascend. In case of Union Commission, the age of 65 years, and for State Commission, the age is 62 years. Means a person can hold the post in center and state as well as state also if for 6 years or 65 years in center and for 6 years or 62 years in state. Let's suppose a person is appointed at the age of 50 in the center. Then the criteria is 6 or 65 years. Which is completed first, he will serve as 56 years because 6 years will be completed first. And for say state, 62 years or 6 years. Clear? A member of Public Service Commission may be written under his end address in case of Union Commission or Joint Commission to the President. Means if they want to submit their resignation, if there is a Union Commission or there is a Joint Commission, he will submit his resignation to the President. If there is a State Commission, he will submit his resignation to the Governor of India. And both the Service Commission members, all the Service Commission members are eligible to reappoint to that office. Sorry, they are ineligible to reappointment. Next, Article 317 explain the removal and suspension of the member of the Public Service Commission. If there is a Joint Public Service Commission or Union Public Service Commission in the ground of misbehave, he can directly remove by the President of India, and he can basically submit his removal, or he can challenge his removal to the Supreme Court of India. But if there is a person who is basically member of State Public Service Commission, can be removed by the governor on the ground of misbehave. ठीक है, तो for UPSC the president has power, for SPSC the governor has power to remove the person, or also can be challenged in the Supreme Court. These are the criteria to removal of the president. If he is an insolvent person, he can be removed from the office. Also, engaging during term of office any paid employment outside the duty of his office, mean if he has a post of profit. In the opinion of president, if he is unfit to continue in office by the reason of infirmity or mind of body, or if chairman or other member of the Public Service Commission become any way concerned or interest in any contract or agreement made by or behalf of the government of India or government of the state, participated anyway in the profit therefore, or they are working as a benefit post, then they can be removed from their post by the president or governor, depend on the authority. Means if there is a UPSC, Union Public Service Commission chairman, he can directly remove by the president. If there is a member of Joint Public Service Commission, then he can remove by the president. If there is a member of SPSC, State Public Service Commission, he can directly remove by the governor. Article 318 explain power to make regulation condition of service of member and staff. In case of Union Commission, Joint Commission, the President has power to regulate, and in case of state, the Governor has power to determine the number of members of Commission and their condition of the service. The Governor and President respectively have power to determine the number of members of the Commission. Also make provision with respect to the number of members of the staff of the Commission and their condition of the service, provided that the condition of the service of a member of a Public Service Commission shall not be varied to the disadvantage after his appointment. Next, Article 319 explains the provision as to holding of office by the member of commission or ceases to be such. The chairman of Union Public Service Commission shall be ineligible for further employment either under Government of India or Government of State. If he is the member of the, or if he is retired at the Union Public Service Commission member, he is ineligible to work under the Government of India or Government of State. But if there is a member of State Public Service Commission, he is eligible to work under the Union Public Service Commission. If there is a member of chairman of the Union Public Service Commission, he is also eligible to become the chairman as the State Public Service Commission. A member of the chairman of State Public Service Commission also eligible to the member of the Union Public Service Commission. Article 320 explains the function of the Public Service Commission. What are the major function of the Public Service Commission? To conduct examination in the state and the center, means the Union Public Service Commission will conduct the exam in the state and State Public Service Commission will conduct exam in the center. It shall also be the duty of Union Public Service Commission, if requested by any two or more states, so that to assist those states in framing and operating a scheme of joint recruitment for any service for which candidate possessing special qualifications are required. On all matters related to the method of recruitment to service civil servant for civil post, the Union Public Service Commission or State Public Service Commission will work. Also, they work on the disciplinary matters under the Government of India or Government of States in a civil capacity. So the major work of the function of the Public Service Commission is to appoint the member of the civil servant in state as well as center also. Clear? What does Article 321 says? Article 3, power to extend function of the Public Service Commission. The Parliament has power and the state legislature has power. Mean Parliament for UPSC and state legislature for SPSC. Both has power basically to extend the function or extend the tenure of the Public Service Commission members. Expenses of the Public Service Commission. All the expenses of the Public Service Commissions are basically charged from the Consolidated Fund of India and Consolidated Fund of the state. And Article 322 explain the reports of the Public Service Commission. Mean the Public Service Commission in Union and Joint Public Service Commission generally submit their report to the president, and state public service commission submit their report to the before the governor. Done. So this is the topic we have discussed. In this class, we have discussed part 14th of the Indian Constitution, which deal with the service under the union and the state government. 309 explain the recruitment of the person serving in the union, and 310 tenure of the office of the person serving the union or the state. 311 explain the dismiss and the removal and the rank of the civil servant person, and 312 all India services. 315 Public Service Commission under UPSC or SPSC. 316 explain the appointment and the term of the member of UPSC and SPSC. 317 removal and suspension of the member of the Public Service Commission. 318 power. 319 prohibition as to holding post of, and 320 function of the Public Service Commission. 321 the Parliament and state legislature has power to extend the function. 322 expenses of the Public Service Commission, and 322 explain the report of the Public Service Commission. So this is the part 14th of Indian Constitution deal with the all India services. I hope you understand this session. Thank you.